I'm Angela, and for some reason, I'll not show anyone's identity while I tell my story. This man succeeded twice in seducing me to have sex with him, although I visited him with no intention of having pleasure. I wouldn't say he raped me, but I was very disappointed in myself and sought to know how he was able to get me sexually aroused that night. As a victim, I would like to create some awareness by describing how some men deliberately go about this. I will go straight to the point by focusing on what happened when I entered his room. But if you care to know how we met, I met him like how everyone will meet a potential soulmate. My worry is that I got to know the truth about his marital status after he had got me laid twice. I realized that his main motive for coming into my life was nothing else than sex, but he never made it seem so. I have always carried myself with the belief that sex before marriage is not right, and we both agreed not to have any sexual intercourse until we get married. I entered his room where there was no sofa for me to sit, so he asked me to sit on his bed. He lived in a single room with one sofa, which he had intentionally placed some items on. The room was very chilled with a sea coolant. I had no option but to sit on his bed. He served me some juice and pastries, and asked the type of movies I would like to watch. I told him to play any movie he finds interesting. There comes this adventure movie. It wasn't an adult movie, but it had some sex-related scenes. Often he'll crack some jokes, and I'll laugh out loud. I really enjoyed that moment, as it was both entertaining and relaxing. He told me he would like to tell me a secret, so he sat closer to me. He asked me to bring my head closer so he could whisper it into my ears. I drew much closer, but he had no secret to tell than to lick my ear, laugh, and tell me that I'm a gossip. Anytime we both laughed, he would lightly touch parts of my body playfully. I will need an expert to explain the chemistry or psychology behind why I became so horny after a while. The combined sense of comfortably resting in a very cool place on a bed, watching an interesting movie, his sense of humor, and light, casual touches, all of these combined, got me so turned on that I couldn't have the strength to push him away enough when he suddenly and forcibly grabbed me tightly. Sometimes I'm forced to think that he added some kind of substances to my juice to arouse me, but I can't be sure. Later, I found out that he was married with 2 kids. I want you to take these lessons from my story. 21st century men know that the easiest way to get a hardcore lady to bed is to create the impression of a possible marriage in her mind. They can go further in proving it by supporting the lady. Unlike some years back, men today can be very patient to get you to trust them. It's after they get the sex they want that you'll realize their intentions for approaching you. Once they're able to get you to believe that they could possibly marry you, that's 80% work done. The remaining 20% will be done when you pay a visit. And it has to do with some sort of psychology and chemistry to get you aroused. Before you judge me, kindly take a few seconds to reflect on my story. I've been a victim, and I tell you that the best way to escape such a trap is to not visit at all.